Pats and the Finns going up on CBS with the Dolphins, trying to keep that nice home thing going alive against the Patriots. Favorites against the Pats for the first time since 2013, but when you got that guy, you always got a chance. Tua, 3-0 career against Bill Belichick, however. New England, losers 7 of their last 9 trips to the MIA. Little South Beach flu, and when it's not bouncing your way, that doesn't help either. Tipped by Xavier Howard, and it's Javon Holland with the INT. Takes it out to the 28. That's using your head. That would lead to a Dolphins field goal. Mid-second quarter, we move ahead. Fins up 3-0 still. Jones from the shotgun, sacked by Brandon Jones, and then it's scooped and scored by Melvin Ingram. Check out Ingram here with the one-handed scoop and score. Fins up 10-0. Jones untouched there, dialing it up off the blind side. Things just not going well to start for Mac Jones, and then 2 minutes left in the half. Tua up top to the new guy, Tyreek. He can stay. Hill going up and grabbing the rebound for the 26-yard grab to the Patriots' 45. Hill, 8 receptions, 94 yards in his debut. How about wide receiver 1 turning into wide receiver 2, but making it for 6? Jalen Waddle, get in there. Splitting the defense. Tua's final line in this one, 23 of 33, 270, a touchdown, no interceptions. And with 5:06 left in the fourth, the Pats down 20-7. 2nd and 10. Ball! Kader Kohu forcing the fumble. Jalen Phillips recovering it. And just like that, the Magic Mike era off to a glowing start as Mike McDaniel gets a win in his Dolphins head coaching debut, and his head coaching debut at that, as he becomes the first Miami head coach to win their debut since Nick Saban all the way back in 2005. It's now 4 straight wins for the Fish over their divisional foe here in the New England Patriots, who open at 0-1 on the season, 20-7 your final here as Tua improves to 4-0 against Bill Belichick at the wagering window. Fish cover the 3, and this one comes in under the 46.5. Winning QB with our AJ Ross postgame.
Tua, obviously so much anxiety leading up to week 1. You have a new head coach, new system, but you went 23 for 33 for 270 yards, and you've spread it around to 9 different receivers. How does it feel having this first one under your belt?
Yeah, it feels good having the first win with these group of guys. Feels good, you know, having Mike on our side as well, calling the plays. You know, there's a lot of things that we knew we wanted to execute on that we didn't execute today, but we'll look at the film and we'll move on from there.
Your defense was also clutch with 3 takeaways. How much of an advantage did they give you?
The defense did a hell of a job. They were the momentum changers, I would say, for this game for us. You know, we couldn't get things going offensively. They had an interception. They had a sack fumble for a touchdown. You know, those are game changers. And, you know, I think what we got to do offensively is we got to capitalize on these takeaways and these turnovers.
And you're now 4-0 against the Patriots. And since 2000, Bill Belichick has not lost to an opponent 4 straight times. Does this make this win any more special?
It's a team win. Yeah, our team is 1-0. This is our first win, and that's how we're looking at it this season moving forward.
Congrats to it.
Thank you.
All right, in Tua we trust as Miami starts off the season 1-0, and Tua Tagovailoa, B-Mac, now 4-0 against Bill Belichick, which is no short task when you look at Jake Plummer and John Elway, the only others to even be in that neighborhood. Elway starting out 4-0 as well. We know how that career ended, riding off into the sunset. The day has just begun for Tagovailoa as he now gets going with his new offensive mind in Mike McDaniel. It's 1-0 in Miami. All right, back in studio with the 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden to react to this one, B-Mac.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's probably something to be said about reading a book by its cover, but Mike McDaniel just going to be judged by the contents of that playbook, and it looked nice here in his opening game as not just a play caller, but as the head coach in Miami. What jumped off the page here in this opening win against the Patriots?
Well, the fast start. You know, playing at home, playing against a divisional foe, a team you've had success against there in the crib. Just seeing how fast they were able to get things going into halftime with a 17-point lead over a Bill Belichick-led team is very, very impressive. Now, we saw some slow things in the second half, but yet and still, they made more than enough plays to be able to finish this game out on top. So I applaud Coach McDaniels and his staff. You look at the players, and what we saw from Tua Tagovailoa was efficiency. That 4th and 7 opportunity. It's one thing to get that converted, but it's another thing, Joe, to be able to score on a 40-plus yard touchdown, and that was like the back-breaking moment for the Patriots when you look at things they could not do against the Miami Dolphins offense.
Really fitting one in the window there on 4th down as well. A confident throw from Tua. The stat line isn't otherworldly by any means, but you get a win by multiple scores here. We are going to assess Tua week in and week out as he is in that prove-it type year to try and prove that with all these pieces around him and the offensive mind beside him, that he's going to be able to be that guy. Did you feel that this was a step in the right direction?
No question. I mean, 23 of 33, 270 yards. He was sacked 3 times. But the thing that I like about Tua, you didn't see him trying to force throws that were not there. What he did today, he took what the defense gave him, and then in opportunities where he had to complete a pass in a tight window, a la the Jalen Waddle touchdown reception, he did so with confidence. So if he can continue to play this way, I think they will eventually find a way to run the football better. But he has the pass catchers that any quarterback would want to have surrounding him.
You were looking at the numbers right here. 12 targets for the new guy, Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle, still a big part of this offense with that big touchdown reception. Only 5 targets, but Tua spreading the ball around. And this offensive approach looking very reminiscent of what we saw in San Francisco when Mike McDaniel was there helping out that offense as the run game coordinator. Do you think we continue to see a bunch of those hallmarks with a lot of guys getting looks and a lot of guys getting touches in this McDaniel offense?
No question. Being able to spread the football around equally has been a calling card for anything we see coming from San Francisco, and then also being able to utilize the play action. I think that play action game will be more intense, especially when they're able to run the football better than what they were able to do today.
Just 1 touchdown to show for it out of the Patriots here. Obviously, week 1, B-Mac, it is overreaction season. We're not hitting the panic button just yet. But when you look at what's out in front of them in that division, now Miami with a leg up on them with a heads-up win, Buffalo looks like they're going to be they're going to be. What constitutes success this year for New England?
Playoffs.
Yeah?
Playoffs, getting into the tournament and not barely getting in. But one thing I can say about the New England Patriots, watching them today against the Miami Dolphins, they lack talent. The Dolphins, on paper, we felt like they were the more talented team, but when we saw both teams on the grass, easily you saw that advantage going to the Miami Dolphins. So they lack talent, that is the New England Patriots, and then not actually having an offensive coordinator for your second-year quarterback is mind-boggling for me. And we've been talking about this storyline throughout the entirety of the offseason training camp. Not having a prominent OC to be able to determine what we're doing when we're doing it, it doesn't make sense, especially you have a quarterback that lack experience. And today, Mac Jones did not look like Mac Jones of from last year. Now, is it because they don't have an OC? Is it because it's some things he's trying to work out, some new kinks in the offensive game plan? But for whatever it was, he struggled. Now, when you transition to Tua, Tua looked 10 times better. So will they continue this whole mindset of not having an OC, and the guy who's basically in charge of the offense there in New England is a guy who used to call defensive plays? I coach flag football for 4th and 5th graders. The coach asked me, he said, you know what, Matt, do you want to call plays offensively? I said, no, my specialty is defense. You call the offense, I call the defense. They're in New England, Matt Patricia, for as long as I known him to be a defensive-minded guy. Why is he having a pencil in his ear calling offensive plays? Doesn't make any sense, but let's continue to monitor this. But one thing I can say, right now, best case scenario for New England, they're 3rd in the AFC. Best case scenario right now.
You will never see 10 and 11-year-olds run a more effective 3-cloud coverage than under this man right here.
Me, I'm the guy.
B-Mac, the DC in the building. You touch upon it there because when you're talking about a coach like Bill Belichick, greatest of all time, arguably, we could have that conversation another day, but he has bought himself the benefit of the doubt with the success that's followed him throughout his career. But here in the post-Tom Brady era, it has not been as easy to get that machine running. Are you pointing a finger at Bill Belichick right now after this first loss for not only not having his team prepared for this moment, for not constructing his team as one that can succeed in this division.
No question. Anytime we see something from New England that's not the best, we got to point our finger at the head man in charge. I mean, that's going to be a reoccurring theme in regards to New England if they're not looking like the ball club we all believe they're supposed to look like. But most importantly for me, it's about the defensive side. He's a defensive-minded guy. He's always been kind of hands-on with the defense, giving his say-so. And the same can be said offensively as well because he's the head man in charge. But they had issues today. I mean, they sacked Tua 3 times, but for the most part, Tua looked very, very comfortable in the pocket, and they had no answers for some of the schemes that Mike McDaniel and his staff presented to the New England Patriots defense. So that's a big concern because in their division, you had Tua today. But the baddest man on the planet is also in their division in Josh Allen. And if you have any hope in trying to get to the tournament, any hope in trying to compete and win a divisional title, you got to have a defense that can stop the Buffalo Bills. And right now, what I saw today, I felt like the defense took a step back. I felt like they needed to be able to dominate until we see more consistency from the offensive end. We didn't see so today. I'm not saying the defense played bad, Joe. I'm not saying that. But I thought they would be able to uphold the task until we saw Mac Jones pick up things and get things rolling. And clearly they were not able to do that today.
All 32 franchises trying to lay those first bricks of what will be the foundation to this 2022 season. And it's the Fins moving to 1-0 in Miami. We're going to have full highlights, reaction to each and every game coming next on CBS Sports HQ.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.